Okay, good morning for our week module number 3 for our prelim. So our topic is about projectile motion. So first, let's discuss what is projectile motion. So projectile motion of any body that is given an initial velocity and firing angle, then travels and follows a path determined entirely by the effects of gravitational acceleration and air resistance. So take note. So sa projectile motion, naa daw initial velocity o firing angle. So we have here in our diagram, so naatay isa ka body or object and naa siya initial velocity, and we have an firing angle. So kani angle theta. Then ang atuang body is nag-travel and follows a path. So naa siya sa atuang body or object. So sa pag-travel niya, naa siya distance from our object to the ground. So muna siya atuang y. And we have also the travel or the distance, which is x in our diagram. So we have here our formula to solve for our x or the distance. So we have x is equal to initial velocity cosine angle theta multiplies atuang time travel. So this is our formula for solving our x. And solving for our y, so distance sa atuang object and to the ground. So we have here initial velocity multiply sa atuang sine theta or angle multiply sa atong time minus 1/2 gt squared. So constant na ni siya na formula. So to combine the two equation, so if need na to, gamiton ang duha ka equation. So we have here positive negative y is equal to x tangent of theta minus gx squared over 2 multiply sa ato ang initial velocity squared cosine squared theta. So combine na ni siya na to equation. So magamit na to ni if gi-required sa problem. So we all know that VO is the initial velocity. And our angle is the firing angle or launch angle. And Y is the vertical distance traveled after time. So vertical, so patindog. And X is the horizontal distance traveled after time. So kaning horizontal. So naa diha makabantay mo sa tuang formula, we have positive and negative y. So positive y if the final point of travel is above the initial point. So makita na to sa atong illustration or atong diagram. So mugamit tag positive y if ang atoang object is nag-travel siya and our final point is above. If negative y if the final point travel is below the initial point. So if below gali, so therefore negative y ang atuang gamiton. So let's have an example for this topic for projectile motion. So number 1, a soccer ball that was kicked an angle of 40 degree above the horizontal strikes the ground 20 meter away. What was its initial velocity? So first, we need to draw our diagram para mas masabtan nato. So giingon sa problem natay soccer ball. Butang nato. And the ball was kicked an angle of 40 degree. So gikik daw siya, so gisipa. So therefore draw ta sa tong ground. So we have here our ground. So na siya angle daw na 40 degrees above the horizontal strikes. So gisipa siya. So na siya 25 meter away. So therefore from here, so sa tong final point, na siya distance nga 25 meters. So sa atong drawing, ma-analyze nato nga naatay angle theta. So given our angle theta is 40 degrees and our x is 25 meters. And our unknown is the required nato is ang atuang initial velocity daw. So to solve this, we need to take note that at the final point, sa gitravel sa atuang soccer ball, ang elevation sa atuang y of the ball is 0. 0 na siya kay ang elevation nato. So therefore our y is 0. So to solve this, we need to use the combined two equation. So sa tong formula, so we have here plus positive negative y is equal to x tangent of angle theta minus gx divided by 2bo squared cosine squared angle theta. So kanong kanima natong gigamit, ma'am? So kanina itong gigamit kay naaman ang given. So naatay x, naatay y, naatay angle theta, and we have our unknown, the initial velocity. So to solve this, we need to substitute first. Since atong y is 0, so we have 0. Our x is 25. Tangent of our angle is 40 degrees. Minus our gravity will be, so ang gravity nato, since meter, we will use 9.81. Multiply sa atong x, which is 25 meters squared, divided by 2 in our unknown VO squared cosine of 40 squared. So to solve for our BO, so i-derive nato. So 25 multiply nato, 25 times tangent of 40 degrees, we have 20.98. So saka nato. Wait sa ha. Balhin ni ma'am. Hindi maigo. So we have here 20.98 multiply sa to ang 2 VO squared. So pila ang cosine 40 squared? 0.587. So minus sa to ang 9.81 25 squared calcu that will be 6131.25. So pwede na ba ta maka-derive? So to derive this, transpose, so VO is equal to square root of 6131.25 divided by 20.98 times 2 and 0.587. So square root ano. Mauta pagsulat ni mamay. So calculate na to again. 6131.25 divided by 20.98 so 0.587. Our answer will be 15.78 meter per seconds since velocity. So this is our final answer for our problem number 1. So take note. So proceed ta for problem number 2. A projectile was launched upward from a level ground at an angle of 60 degrees with the horizontal. It has an initial velocity of 45 meter per second. How long will it take before the projectile hits the ground? So first, we need to draw for our diagram. So natay projectile daw. So natay ground. We have our projectile or our object. So gilaunch upward. Since gilaunch upward with an angle of 60 degrees and na siya initial velocity na 45 meter per second. So therefore our VO is 45 meter per seconds. So ang unknown na to, how long will it take before the projectile hit the ground? So unknown na to is the time. So take note, our Y will be 0. Anong 0 man ma'am? So take note again that at the final point of our travel, the elevation of the ball is 0 or the projectile is 0. So formula atong gamiton, we can use this Y is equal to VO sine angle of theta multiply sa tong time minus 1/2 GT squared. So given 0, atong y, atong BO is 45. Sine angle nato is 60 degrees. Our unknown is time minus 1/2. Our gravity, since gihatag meter per second, so therefore 9.81. Our unknown is the time. So solving for time will be calcu. So our answer will be 7.945 seconds. So this is the final answer for our problem number 2. So very easy, no, since formula based tanan. So we need to understand lang the problem para makabalo ta sa unsay given and pwede na nato ma-solve. So proceed ta for our next topic. We have here the maximum height and maximum range. So sa maximum height, atong formula is lahi sa projectile motion. So we have here natay given nga velocity initial, and ay angle, and ay r, and we have our maximum height, which is the letter h. So kaning r is the horizontal distance or range of projectile, and h is the maximum height reached. So we have here our formula. H is equal to VO squared multiply our sine squared angle theta divided by 2 multiply sa tuang gravity. So take note for our formula. So put tayo formula for solving the r, the horizontal distance. We have VO squared multiply to sine multiply 2 angle theta divided by the gravity. So sa atong horizontal distance, so naabot tayo maximum. So r max, solving for maximum horizontal distance, so VO squared divided by gravity. So sa maximum horizontal, unsaon na to paghibalo if ang ato ang angle is 45 degrees. So let's have an example for this topic. A rifle bullet has a muzzle velocity of 200 meter per second. What is the time of flight at the maximum range? So, after na to mabasa sa itong problem, we need to draw for our diagram. So, giingon na the rifle bullet. So, therefore, diri drawing ni ma'am. And na ay velocity initial nato. VO is 200 meter per second. Wait, reason ni ma'am. We have VO here is 200 meter per second. So bullet nato. So na siya angle of 45 degrees. Ma'am, nanong na may 45? Wala man nag-ingon sa problem. So take note gaingon siya og maximum range. So therefore, our angle will be 45 degrees. So constant na siya. And atong y is 0. So atong unknown will be the time nga gi-travel sa atuang bullet sa atuang maximum range. So to solve for time, so our formula will be y is equal to VO sine of angle theta multiply sa time minus 1/2 gt squared. So atong y 0, our initial is 200, sine of angle na to constant 45, t minus 1/2, gravity will be 9.81 t squared. So our t will be, so calculator, solving for t, our t will be 28.83 seconds. So this is our final answer for our problem number 1 for maximum height. So balikon ni ma'am, again take note nganong 45 na diha. To reach the maximum range, nag-mention man siya sa problem. So therefore, our firing angle is 45 degrees. So constant na siya if maximum range. So let's have our last example for your module number 3 for our prelim. So a cannon can make a maximum angle of 30 degrees with the horizon. What is the maximum speed of a cannonball if it must clear a 10-meter high obstacle? So giingon sa problem of i-draw nato ato ang ground. So naa siya a cannon nato na, assume nato cannon na ha, kaya di ka bala mo drawing si ma'am. So naa daw tay cannon na nag-travel. So naa siya giingon nga maximum angle, so na-given siya, so therefore our angle is 30 degrees. And naa siya unknown nga velocity. Then naa siya given nga height. So high meter, 10 meter high nga of high obstacle. So therefore h nato will be 10 meters. So sa formula to solve h, so sa taas h is equal to VO squared sine squared angle theta divided by 2 and multiply sa gravity. So naaman tanan given, no? So pwede na to ma-solve ang initial velocity sa atoang cannon. So our height will be 10 meters is equal to VO unknown, sine of ila tong angle 30 degrees. So squared divided by 2 and our gravity nga gamiton is 9.81 since meter ang gihatag sa height. So to solve for our initial velocity, so derived na to na. So V is equal to transpose ni ma'am tanan, no? So VO squared sine 30 is equal to 10 multiply sa 2 and 9.81. So VO is equal to square root of 10 times 2 times 9.81 divided by sine of 30 squared. Solve na to. VO will be, so calculate ni ma'am, square root of 10 2 times 9.81 divided by sine of 30 squared. So our answer will be 28.01 meter per second since velocity. So this is our final answer for our problem number 2 in maximum height and maximum range na topic. So I hope nasabtan. So if you have any question, you can comment sa tuang Google Classroom and study for your upcoming exam. So thank you and good luck.